Top 10 Lucky Discoveries that made people very rich. We sometimes just get lucky. Maybe we're walking down the street and come across a $5 bill or a $20 bill in an old pair of jeans. These kinds of things happen all the time. They happen to everyone. Then there are the lucky jackpots. They do not occur in every case. Every now and then, you'll hear a story about how someone discovered something valuable. They end up going from rags to riches overnight. These are the people who make you wish that you could come across an old artifact or find something worth millions at a flea market. Before you start spending your money on a bunch of dusty items, keep in mind that these types of treasures are not found every day. After all, there's a reason this stuff makes front-page news. So, get ready to explore the list of such lucky discoveries. But before we move ahead, make sure you smash the thumbs up and subscribe to Wow! Amazing! Oh, and by the way, watch till the end and you'll be rewarded with a very special bonus discovery. Number 10. The Wall of Coins. Apparently, some kids were trying to explore an abandoned house in Windber, Pennsylvania, when they found a small pile of coins in the entrance hall. They discovered a hole in the wall as they managed to move through the house. The kids were showered with $8,500 in coins after opening the hole in the wall. The greatest part of this discovery was that many of the coins were highly collectible, so their combined value was $200,000. Whoa! Number 9. The Australian Gold Nugget Discovery. Now, this discovery is going to surprise you. Kevin Hillier and his family were driving up and down the Australian coast in a van looking for work in the fall of 1980. Hillier had been scraping by doing odd jobs. However, after suffering a back injury, doctors advised him to reduce physical labor while walking to aid his recovery, which sparked his interest in metal detecting. Hillier's wife prayed frequently that they would find their fortune through their newfound hobby. And Hillier once dreamed that he discovered a gold nugget that couldn't be extracted from the soil. But the family struggled on until one day in September 1980, outside his small hometown of Wedderburn, Victoria, Hillier's father died. Hillier discovered a gold nugget while out walking with his metal detector that couldn't be pulled from the ground. After many hours of careful digging, he was able to extract a gold nugget weighing approximately 25 kilograms, which he sold in February 1981 for more than $1 million to the Gold Nugget Casino in Las Vegas, where it remains the largest gold nugget on display anywhere in the world. Number 8. The incredible Third Imperial Egg. The Third Imperial Egg is an Easter Fabergé egg made by Peter Carl Fabergé himself in his workshop. If you're unfamiliar with a Fabergé egg, it's a jeweled egg made in St. Petersburg that is extremely valuable. The 50 Imperial eggs, 43 of which survived, were the most valuable. The Third Imperial Egg was made of solid 18-karat gold, sapphires, and diamonds for Russian Tsar Alexander III to give to his wife. The eggs had been lost for many years before being discovered by chance in 2012. One night, a scrap dealer in the United States went online to see if he could find out more about the golden egg he'd purchased over a decade before. He'd paid $13,302 based on what he thought the gold and jewels were worth, intending to sell it to a buyer who would melt it down. The buyers he approached, however, believed he had overestimated the value of the egg and turned him down. When the scrap dealer Googled the egg and a name etched on it, a news article about the lost Third Imperial Egg appeared, and he immediately recognized it as the same egg that had been sitting in his kitchen for years. The Midwestern man had his egg verified, and it turned out to be the exact same item that had been seen in public 112 years before. It is unknown how much the Third Imperial Egg ultimately sold for, but estimates at the time were around $33 million. Number 7. Beautiful Australian Opal. Bobby, an Australian miner, was looking for stones in the opal mecca of Lightning Ridge in 1999 when he came across one that sparkled brighter than the others. He thought it was lovely and took it home as a souvenir, not thinking much about it again until 14 years later, when he decided to show it to a specialist. The specialist was astounded by the find and informed a delighted Bobby that his treasure was a very rare black opal worth an incredible $3 million. When it was valued in 2005, the Royal One Rock was said to be the most valuable stone of its kind. What makes Bobby's luck even better is that he was nearing the end of his 40-year mining career, and the sparkling gem was in his very last bucket. Number 6. Masterpiece of Paintings. In January 1999, an unknown man was playing the board game Masterpiece about fine art when he recognized a painting painted in a similar style to one. He had purchased it to cover a hole in the wall of his Indiana home. Intriguing. He searched the internet until he came across information about the work of an American artist named Martin Johnson Head from the Kennedy Galleries in New York. The owner was shocked to learn that his acquisition was a lost work by Head after sending some pictures and a description of the painting in his home to experts at the gallery. The painting was still in its original frame and remarkable condition considering it had been painted in the 1890s. The Houston Museum of Fine Arts eventually purchased Head's Magnolias on gold velvet cloth for more than $1 million after the Board of Trustees managed to raise the funds in a meeting that lasted less than 90 minutes. But don't despair, according to reports. There are many more lost or forgotten and valuable paintings just waiting to be discovered at your local thrift store, flea market, or rummage sale. Number 5. Hoxne hoard. In November 1992, a farmer in Suffolk, England, was working in his fields when he realized he had misplaced his hammer. Knowing that searching for it alone could take years, and not wanting to give up and buy a new one, he asked his friend Eric Laws to bring his metal detector over and try to find his missing tool. Not long into the search, Eric picked up a signal, so he began digging in the soil where his reading was strongest. He quickly realized he hadn't found the hammer, but had instead discovered something far more exciting. After unearthing several shovels full of gold and silver coins, Eric immediately notified the police and local archaeologists of his discovery. The following day, a team of experts excavated the entire chunk of earth containing the coins for them to be examined and extracted in a laboratory setting. It wasn't until the experts started working in the lab that they realized the significance of Eric's discovery. Eric had discovered approximately 27 kilograms of gold and silver objects, including over 15,000 coins dating from the Roman occupation of Great Britain. Mr. Laws received over $2.5 million in compensation from the British government for his remarkable discovery, which he divided evenly with the landowner who eventually found the hammer that sparked the initial search. Number 4. The Roman helmet. When significant archaeological finds are discovered in the United Kingdom, they must be reported to the appropriate authorities. Certain valuable metals, such as gold and silver, are not permitted for private sale, so a finder's fee is paid to anyone who discovers and reports valuable historical artifacts, like the previously mentioned Hoxne hoard. The finds are then acquired by local museums, where the public can study and view them. The following item, on the other hand, was not covered by these laws because it was made of bronze, which is only considered treasure if it is part of a hoard. Because this object was discovered on its own, it could be sold privately, which was fantastic news for the unnamed person who discovered it. The artifact in question is a ceremonial Roman cavalry helmet made of bronze that is in remarkably good condition for its age. In May 2010, an amateur metal detectorist discovered it on a Cumbrian farm in the United Kingdom. It's one of only 3 Roman helmets in Britain with a full face mask. Because of its rarity and the fact that it could be purchased by anyone, the helmet eventually sold for $3.5 million at an auction in October 2010, which was paid for by a private collector. Number 3. Coca-Cola stock certificate. This is the ultimate jackpot story. Tony Marin paid $5 for a box containing a collection of random documents at a garage sale in California. He discovered a promissory note for 1,625 shares of Palmer Union Oil Company while sifting through the papers. Palmer Union Oil Company merged with another company, which then merged with Coca-Cola. Marin discovered that he was entitled to $1.5 million shares of Coca-Cola due to mergers and stock splits over the years after hiring a lawyer. Those shares are valued at approximately $130 million. Marin became Coca-Cola's single largest non-institutional shareholder. It was the greatest garage sale in history. Number 2. Staffordshire hoard. Terry, an amateur metal detectorist from Lichfield, England, was searching for a field in July 2009 when he came across an area with an unusually strong signal. The man knew he had discovered something special almost immediately after breaking the surface of the ground, as he began to uncover an astonishing stash of gold, weapons, and ornaments that had lain undisturbed beneath the surface for over 1,300 years. The Staffordshire hoard was essentially a war hoard dating from 600s, which was a particularly turbulent period in England's history. Experts believe the items were captured in battle by armies from Mercia, which at the time was at war with the neighboring regions of Northumbria and East Anglia. However, we will probably never know how it came to be buried in a field far from any known buildings or roads. The hoard was purchased for more than $4 million by the Birmingham Museum and is still open to the public. Terry Herbert, a metal detectorist, and landowner Fred Johnson shared the money equally. Number 1. Declaration of Independence. Many Americans consider the Declaration of Independence to be the most important document in American history. Following the creation of the original, John Dunlap produced 200 first edition copies to spread the Declaration's message across the country. Only 3 of the known 26 copies are currently in the hands of private collectors. One such forgery was discovered behind a painting purchased solely for the frame by a collector. When the unidentified owner disassembled the frame, he discovered an unspeakably fresh first edition copy of the Declaration of Independence folded up behind the picture. An ecstatic friend encouraged the owner to contact Sotheby's to have it appraised, and it eventually sold for $2 million at auction in 1991, reflecting the unique nature of this discovery and the exceptional condition it was in. The same copy was auctioned again in 2000 by the 1991 auction winner, bringing in $8 million. Bonus discovery: Action Comics. Who thought this would just make someone super rich? One incredible discovery was about to change the lives of a couple in the United States. They were afraid of losing their home because they couldn't keep up with the payments. That was until they started going through the attic boxes. They opened one and discovered a copy of the first Action comic. This was the first Superman comic book, and it was in excellent condition. The comic was given an 8.5 out of 10 ratings. It would have cost 10 cents when it was first released in 1938. It took the auction house by storm in 2010, fetching the couple $1.5 million. It was the most expensive item of its kind until 2011, when another copy sold for more than $2 million. With that said, you just explored some incredible discoveries that made people very rich. Which one did you find the most amazing? Please let us know in the comments. Quickly subscribe to Wow! Amazing! And give this video a big thumbs up. I'm sure you don't want to miss such videos. Stay tuned for more interesting and surprising videos.